Putin, without aid, Kiev collapses in 2 months. Moscow, 2-year-old boy and mother killed by Ukrainian drone. Ukraine, Moscow, Novoilizhvetovka village in Donetsk liberated. In the last 24 hours, the Russian armed forces have liberated the settlement of Novoilizhvetovka in the self-proclaimed Donetsk People's Republic. This was reported by the Russian Ministry of Defense, quoted by TASS. Moscow, 2-year-old boy and mother killed by a drone in Belgorod. A 2-year-old boy and his mother were killed in a Ukrainian drone strike that hit a residential building in Russia's Belgorod region, according to the governor, Vyacheslav Gladkov. In the attack, which took place on the village of Razumnoye, another child and his father were injured. Russian drone debris falls near metro station in Kiev. Debris from a Russian drone hit the area near a metro station in Kiev, in the Darnitsia district of the Ukrainian capital. This was reported by Mayor Vitaly Klitschko, quoted by Ukrinform. Debris from an enemy UAV fell near a metro station in Darnitsia district, he wrote on Telegram, explaining that emergency services reached the area, noting that fragments from the drone damaged the fence and one of the buildings of the metro depot. At the moment, there is no fire in the area, and there are no injuries, Klitschko noted. Earlier, an air raid alert had been triggered in Kiev for the sighting of drones approaching the city from the northeast. Ukraine, media, new EU sanctions will not ban Russian gas imports. The EU's new package of sanctions against Russia will not include a total ban on imports of liquefied natural gas from Moscow, despite calls from some countries to do so. This was reported by TASS citing Politico, according to which the European Commission will officially present the draft of the 16th package of anti-Russian sanctions to the authorities of the countries of the European Union. The new restrictions will only affect LNG terminals that are not connected to the EU's common gas distribution system. As a result, the new sanctions will not affect most Russian LNG imports. Ukrainian drones against the Russian region of Smolensk, a nuclear site also attacked. Russia's Smolensk region was attacked by drones, one of which attempted to attack a nuclear power plant. This was said by the governor of the region, Vasily Anokin. In various areas of the Smolensk region, civilian objects have been subjected to massive drone attacks. According to preliminary information, one of the drones was shot down during an attempt to attack a nuclear power plant, the governor said on his Telegram channel, reported by Interfax. According to him, no one was injured, nothing was destroyed. Zelensky. Putin is afraid of negotiations and does everything to prolong the war. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said Vladimir Putin was afraid of negotiations to end the war in Ukraine, after the Russian president ruled out direct talks with his Ukrainian counterpart. Today, Putin has again confirmed that he is afraid of negotiations, afraid of strong leaders, and he is doing everything he can to prolong the war, Zelensky wrote in X. Putin. Without aid, Kiev collapses in 2 months. They cannot exist. They will not last a month if the money and, in a broad sense, the ammunition stop. Everything will be finished in a month and a half, or 2 months. In this sense, Ukraine's sovereignty is almost nil, Putin told Rossiya 1 TV channel journalist Pavel Zarubin. Putin, you can negotiate with Ukraine, but Kiev is not willing to do it. If Ukraine decides to negotiate with Russia, there is a legal way to do so. But Moscow sees no willingness on Kiev's part to engage, Russian President Vladimir Putin said on state television today. Putin told Kremlin journalist Pavel Zarubin that negotiations with Ukraine are complicated by the illegitimacy of President Zelensky, who has remained in power beyond his term without the authority to sign documents. But essentially, if they want to proceed, there's a legal way to do it. Let the Speaker of the Rada, the Ukrainian parliament, deal with it in accordance with the Constitution, Putin said. If there is a desire, we can resolve any legal issue. However, for now, we do not see this desire. Media. China and India suspend Russian oil purchases in March. China and India suspended the purchase of Russian oil in March after U.S. sanctions against the Ghost Fleet, insurers and intermediaries introduced by the Biden administration shortly before the end of the mandate triggered a drastic increase in shipping costs, the Moscow Times reported, citing Reuters. The Treasury Department hit 183 tankers involved in transporting Russian oil sold at prices above the sanctions cap, that allows Russian oil to be loaded until Feb 27th and transactions to be completed by March 12th. Last year, Russian oil accounted for 36% of crude imports in India and nearly 20% in China. Zelensky hears Netanyahu, close contacts with Trump. Telephone conversation between Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Zelensky himself announced this in a post on X. Zelensky said he had welcomed the start of the release of the hostages and expressed hope that they will all be released soon, adding that it is crucial to ensure reliable and lasting peace so that people can live in safety and security. Zelensky added that with Netanyahu, they had discussed maintaining close contacts with partners, especially the United States and President Trump. Italian weapons to Ukraine. The Chamber of Deputies definitively approves the extension to the end of the year. The Chamber of Deputies has definitively approved the Ukraine Decree Law, which authorizes the extension to December 31st, 2025, of the shipment of weapons to Kiev. The measure, already approved by the Senate, passed with 192 votes in favor and 41 against. The oppositions were divided, with the Democratic Party, RV and Action voting in favor, M5S and AVS against. Kiev, 2 dead from a Russian attack on the Donetsk region. The Russian occupiers launched a targeted attack on the city of Rodinsky in the Donetsk region. 2 people were killed, the Ukrainian State Emergency Service reported, adding that a fire broke out, 3 houses and a business were damaged. The fire was quickly extinguished. Attack on Rodyansky, Donetsk region. Attack on Rodyansk region. Moscow accuses Ukrainian forces of killing 300 civilians. Moscow accused Ukrainian forces of killing at least between 300 and 350 civilians in cold blood before withdrawing from territories in eastern Ukraine and Russia's Kursk region in the face of advancing Russian troops. Based on reports from witnesses evacuated from the cities of Seladov, Chasiv Yar, and Avdiivka in the Donetsk Republic, and from the front area in the Kursk region, we can confidently calculate that at least between 300 and 350 civilians were killed by Ukrainian forces as they left these territories, said Rodion Murashnik, the Russian Foreign Ministry diplomat in charge of investigating the crimes committed by the Kiev regime.